Karen brought tourists to my lake cabin, so I closed the bridge and charged a toll. The lake cabin was my sanctuary, a quiet refuge nestled in the emerald embrace of Karen Forest, where the water shimmered like glass under the summer sun. For years, it was just me, the loons, and the whispers of pine. That changed when Karen moved into the old Miller house across the lake. She arrived like a storm, her voice cutting through the tranquility, her SUV churning dust on the single dirt road. First, I ignored her. Live and let live, right? But Karen had plans, big, loud, profitable plans. It started with a sign. Karen's Lake Tours, $50 for a day of bliss. Soon, her yard was a circus of tourists, their motorboats roaring, their laughter echoing, their trash littering my shore. My cabin, once a haven, felt like a siege. I tried talking to her. "Karen," I said one evening, standing on her porch, "this is a private lake. You're ruining it." She smirked, her eyes glinting with defiance. "It's a free country, Jake. People deserve to see this beauty. I'm just helping them." Helping herself, more like. Her tours were raking in cash, and my peace was collateral damage. I stewed for weeks, watching her boats carve up the lake. Then I noticed the bridge, the rickety, wooden span over the narrow creek that was the only way to my cabin. It was on my land, my rules. One night, under a starlit sky, I dragged logs across it, built a crude toll booth, and hung a sign. $100 to cross. Cash only. The Karen wanted to play dirty. I'd play dirtier. The next morning, chaos erupted. Karen's tour Group 20 loud. Sunburned strangers piled up at the bridge, their vans honking. Karen stormed over, her face redder than the sunrise. "What the hell, Jake? You can't block a public road." I leaned against the booth, calm as the lake. "Not public. My land, my bridge. Pay up or walk." The tourists grumbled, some snapping photos, others yelling about refunds. Karen's eyes burned with rage, but I held firm. The power felt good, too good. Word spread fast. By noon, locals from the nearby town trickled in, drawn by the drama. Among them was Ellie, a quiet woman who ran the general store. She'd always been kind, slipping me extra coffee beans when I shopped. Now, she stood by the bridge, her face unreadable. "Jake," she said softly, "this isn't you. You're hurting people." I shrugged, but her words stung. I wasn't the villain here, was I? The standoff stretched into days. Karen doubled down, advertising exclusive bridge protest tours. The crowds grew, and so did the tension. Fights broke out among tourists stuck on the wrong side. A teenager spray-painted my booth. Karen egged them on, calling me a greedy tyrant. Greedy? She was the one profiting off my lake. But doubt crept in. Ellie's words echoed. "This isn't you." Then came the twist. One evening, Ellie approached, holding an old deed. Her hands trembled as she showed me the faded paper. "Jake, this bridge, it's not just yours. It's communal land, gifted to the town decades ago. You can't legally block it." My stomach dropped. I checked my property lines, or so I thought. Karen had known, hadn't she? She'd baited me, let me play the fool while she played the victim. The tourists weren't just her customers. They were her audience. Humiliated, I tore down the booth that night. The bridge opened, and Karen's tours resumed, louder than ever. But the lake felt different now, tainted not by her, but by me. I'd let anger cloud my judgment, cost me my principles. Ellie stopped by the next day, her eyes kind but firm. "You fought for what you loved, Jake. But love doesn't mean owning." I nodded, throat tight. She was right. The cabin was still mine, but the lake belonged to everyone. Karen's tours eventually faded. Tourists grew bored, and her greed outpaced their wallets. But the damage was done. My sanctuary was quieter, but the silence carried regret. I'd fought for peace and lost my way. Now, I sit by the lake, watching the loons, wondering where I went wrong. What do you think? Did I have the right to fight for my peace? Or was Karen's chaos a mirror of my own? Share your thoughts on justice, community, and what it means to protect what you love.